Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now let us try to draw these bar graphs on our own. Okay. So drawing a bar graph is an interesting task, but we must choose an appropriate scale. This is very important that we need to choose an appropriate scale to draw the bar graphs. So if you remember that when we were drawing those symbols in order to draw a particular pictogram, so if you use a bigger number for one particular symbol, then it is really difficult to interpret the data from a bar graph. From a pictogram. Now the same thing happens in the bar graph as well. If you're not using the scale appropriately, so what will happen? You might not even able to put the given data into your particular bar graphs because the scale has got bigger difference and these values are very different. Like they might be, say you are choosing a scale of 100, 200, 300, 400, and the number that you are representing, it might be 262. So how will you represent 262 basically here? So this is what comes in the picture. So it is very important that the scale needs to be chosen appropriately. Now it depends upon our own choice that what we are taking for the scale. Okay. So for example, the daily sale of mobile phones in Wiki production is given below. We need to draw the graph that represents the data. Okay. So look at here. It is the number of days. So on particular day, it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the number of phones that were sold in this particular mobile phone shop is 25 on Monday, 13 on Tuesday, 32 on Wednesday, 14 on Thursday, Friday 42 and Saturday 55. So how we are going to draw a bar graph, we need to follow certain steps. Let's read about those steps. The first step says that draw two lines, one horizontal and one vertical. So it is basically these two lines, right, where you draw these bars. It says mark days on the horizontal line. Okay, so here on this horizontal line, we are going to mark the days. Okay, and then the number of phones on the vertical line. So here we are going to mark the number of phones. Then it says take a suitable scale of the number of phones and mark the vertical line. Let suppose you are taking 1 unit is equal to 10 phones, or if you want you can even choose 1 unit equals 5 phones. So then your scale will be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and so on. Okay, so all upon you, your choice, how wisely you are choosing your scale. Then it says use the bar of equal width and draw them frequency depending upon whatever distance you're doing. So it is maybe this much on Monday, then this is on Tuesday, this is on Wednesday, this is on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just an example. Let us see how this particular data is being going to represent it into a bar graph. So this is how it will look like. So here what you see at the top, this is the heading of the bar graph. Okay, what you see on the top, this is your heading of the bar graph. Okay, now the height of the bars will tell the sale of the mobile phones in Wiki production. This is the name of a company that is chosen, for example. Now here what we are doing is, for the horizontal line we are choosing the number of phones. Okay, and now we have chosen the vertical line for days. Okay, here it was saying that we can do it either way. Earlier we were saying that we can put the days on horizontal line and number of phones on the vertical side. Now we are doing just the opposite. We are using on the horizontal we are putting the number of phones and vertically we are putting the days. So it won't make any difference, just the bars from vertical now they are going to be horizontal in length. So rather than height, we are now looking at the length of the bars. Also, what you need to mention in every time you are answering such questions is the unit, how you are using the scale. So this particular thing is called title of the bar graph. Okay, this is the title of the bar graph. This is the scale that needs to be measured, given. Okay, every time you must mention what scale you are using. Here, 1 unit is representing 10 phones. So you see here, it is 0 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What divisions, you can see what jumps it's going to take place. It will all depend on your scale. Okay. Now, as you can see on Monday, 25 phones were sold. So do you see on Monday, this particular bar is somewhat of this length in between 20 and 30. so it represents 25. Now on Tuesday it is showing 13. So do you see here? It is somewhat very much closer to 10. It is representing 13. On Wednesday it is 32. So do you see here? It is very much close to 30. It is representing 32. Then clearly what you see from Thursday, it is somewhere here and it might be representing 14 or 15 exactly. So it is 14 for Thursday. Then for Friday, it is very much close to 40. Probably it is 42 or 43. So it is 42. Do you see how we are reading this? Now the next one is somewhat very much in between. So maybe it is 55. Correct. So it is 55 on Saturday. I hope now you are very much clear how to read a given bar graph and how to interpret the information from it. Let us try to draw these bar graphs now on our own. Okay. Now, it says draw the bar graph with the given information. It has the name of some fruits and the number of students corresponding to it. So here, first thing that we need is that we put, I'm going to use some good lines so that we can understand this bar graph very neatly. So first of all, this is the vertical line. What more I need is a horizontal line, right? Sorry. So this is the horizontal and the vertical line. Now what I need is, I need to mark, let me mark an arrow here and an arrow here, okay? Just please ignore this arrow here. It says the name of the fruits. It's all upon us how we are going to name this particular fruit and where we are going to put this. I'm going to put name of fruits here on the horizontal line, okay? And I'm going to put the number of students on the vertical. Students. Right. So now number of students, it's 8, 3, 5, 4. So what we are going to do is, we are going to choose a scale here. Let's say, because it's always important that you need to write the scale. So let us write the scale. Let 1 unit is equal to 2 students. I hope this is clear. This is the scale that we have chosen. I have chosen. Okay. So now let us draw these bars. The bars needs to be of equal width and needs to be standing on an equal distance. So here I might not be able to draw very accurately, but when you are drawing, please make sure that your width of each of the bar is very much same and the distance between every 2 bars should be equal. So drawing for 8 bananas. So first we need to put the scale. So let us put the scale here. I'm sorry. Here it is. This is 2 because I have chosen 1 unit represents 2 students. So I'll go in the jumps of 2, 4, 6, 8. So I can even use a bigger scale because it is just still 8. So I can choose a bigger one. So say 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So now let us put the bar for banana. So for banana, I need a bar of 8. Okay. So this is the bar that is going to represent banana. That is 8 in 8 number of students that like banana. Now the next one, let us choose another square. So it is for orange and it is going to represent 3. So let's start from here and it is going to represent 3. Okay. So now I'm choosing another color for this. Say this is the one that is representing 3. Now the next one is for apple and it represents 5. So again I'm choosing a rectangle, trying to make it as accurate as possible in order to have the same distance between the bars and of same width. So now the apple represents 5. Okay. So it is between here 4 and 6. Okay. So this is 5. Choosing another color for this. Now the last one is guava. Let's just put another rectangle for this guava and it needs to be 4. So trying it from here, and it is still 4. Okay, so let's just keep it black. Now what I have is, now I need to put the names of the fruits. So here let us write down for each one of them. Here for the first one it is banana. As I said, we can either write it down here or we can just write the same thing into the bars itself. Then this one is orange. This one is apple. This one is guava. Clear? So I hope this is clear how we have made this particular bar graph by choosing a particular scale, writing down what is for a given, for the vertical line and what is for the horizontal line. Let us try some more in order to understand it even better. This says that the following table shows the monthly expenditure of Imran's family on various items. To represent this data in the form of a bar diagram, here are the steps. Okay, so let us follow the steps to solve this particular question. It says draw two perpendicular lines, one vertical and one horizontal. Let us draw it here. Okay, let's draw it here. We need to put two lines, one vertical line and the other one needs to be horizontal line. Okay, now what do we need? It says that along the horizontal line mark the items and along the vertical mark the corresponding expenditure. So here on this particular horizontal line we are going to mark the items. Okay, so I'll just put the name of items in the bars itself, and on the vertical it says put the expenditure. So this side it is going to be expenditure. Okay, now it says that take bars of same width, keeping uniform gap between them. So this is what we need to do. And here I'll just write it. Items are going to come here on the horizontal bar. Now it says choose a suitable scale along the vertical line, and they have given let 1 unit be 200 rupees. Okay, so let us mark it here. So it is 200, 400. So you can see we are going in thousands. So I'm just trying to keep these marks small. So it is 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, 1600, 1800, 2000. I hope the numbers are not big. Okay, they are going till 3400. However, my scale is really small and I need even more divisions between the lines. Okay, so let me do one thing. Instead of taking the units of 200, I'll just change this unit. This particular unit is not working for me. It's going very much beyond this. Scale would go too long. So rather than this, let me just write what my scale is. The scale that I'm choosing is that for every 1 unit, it is going to represent 400 rupees. Okay, I'll just rewrite this again. So here it's going to be 400, 800. Then we are just going with the times table of 4. 4 times 2, 4 times, then it is 1200, 1600, then it is 2000, then it is 2400, then it is 2800, then it is 3200, then it is 3600, and then it is 4000. Okay, so I hope now it is clear how I have changed the scale, because when I was working for year 1 unit in rupees 200, the scale would have been really long, because I can see here we have got 3400 as well. So I was not able to put this in this particular small slide of mine. Okay, so if you want, you can try making the same bar graph, with the same information, using 1 unit equal 200 rupees. So you might see how different the answer will be. The corresponding bars that you will see Everything will be same, just the difference is that you are taking a different scale, so the length of your these bars will be even bigger. Okay, so let us write down house rent for 3000. Okay, so for house rent it is 3000. So it is somewhere between 2800 and it needs to be longer. Yes. So it is somewhere between 2800 and 3200. Okay. So this bar graph is representing the house rent. So let me just write it here as well, that this particular is for house rent. Now let us draw another bar that is going to represent food, that is 3400. So food takes the maximum expenditure, that is 3400, right? So 3400 is somewhere in between 32 and 3600, and let's write it here that this is representing food. Okay, now moving to the next one. Here let us insert another bar, and now we have got education for 800. Okay, so education for 800. Oh, sorry. Now let again insert shape of a rectangle, and it is till 800. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that this does look like somewhat, I'm sorry, this I think it's bigger, longer. Okay, so somewhat here it is representing 800. Okay, so this particular thing that we can see right now, it is for education, right? So let us write it here that this is education. You can also write all these names below this particular horizontal line. Now the next one that we need to draw is electricity, that is showing 400. Okay, so let us insert a rectangle again, and it is representing just 400, right? Yeah, so just 400, so very small square will come here. Here let's put another square of very small height and length, because we need to represent 400, right? Okay, so this is representing, I think these bars, they're not very much accurate as per they should be, how they should be. It is not that much accurate. However, this 400 is showing electricity. So let us write down here that this particular thing is electricity. Now the next one that we have got is transport 600, right? So let us again draw a rectangle that is for transport, and that is 600. So it is between 400 and 800. Okay, and this is representing transport. So let us write down here that this is transport. Transport. Now the next thing that we comes here is the miscellaneous that we have got. So let us now draw here that is miscellaneous for 1200. So let us again choose a rectangular shape, and it is going to be of the height of 1200 in order to represent the miscellaneous expenditure of the family, right? So here let us write miscellaneous. Right, so this is how we have drawn this particular bar graph, and what you can see that I have written on the top of these bars, either it's possible to fit these particular words in the bar, that is also correct. If you write it down above the bars, that is also correct. If you write down below this horizontal line, it is also correct. Either ways you are correct, but make sure that you do mention is that what scale you have chosen here. So here the scale that we have chosen is that one particular unit is representing 400 rupees in this particular scale. So we have taken the jumps of 400, 800, then 1200, 1600 and so forth. If suppose you were taking the jump of 200, then your scale should be 200, 400, 600, 800 and 1000 and so on. So this is very important that what you mention the scale, that is how you're going to move in the scale of your vertical that is shown on this particular vertical line, that is the expenditure of the family here. Okay, moving ahead.